Before I begin, I just want to thank the planning committee, Mr. Nguyen, and also Mr. Nguyen for giving me this opportunity to share with everyone my experience. So thank you. Anxiety, joy, disappointment, relief. These were the emotions on the faces of the citizenship applicants that left the testing area, where I was awaiting for my turn for the U.S. citizenship test. Why does this test hold such importance for so many of us? I found it out as they called my name, and it was finally my turn for the naturalization test. It was a defining moment in my life, the day I became a U.S. citizen. In studying for this test, I was reminded of the most famous line in the Declaration of Independence that I learned in school, but never fully understood the meaning until then, that we are endowed with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. My parents and many others sacrificed such for their pursuit of happiness, which for them was to give their children a chance at a life of freedom. That is why the test holds such importance, that we are fulfilling the wishes of our family members that sacrificed for so much for us to become U.S. citizens and the freedoms that comes with it. All of us have our own stories and hardships about how we got here. My own story started when my parents made the decision for my father to escape Vietnam back in 1985. By boat, alone, agreeing that the risk was too high to try to go together so that he could make a life for us in the U.S. We didn't hear from him for many months, but were very relieved and happy when he wrote to us that he was safe in the U.S. He worked long hours and many jobs to save money to bring my mother, brother, and I to the U.S. 5 years later. You would think the story ended there, but at the ages of 7 and 8, adapting to a new culture and language was full of obstacles for my brother and I. The obstacle we encounter included having to learn English and relentless bullying by classmates, which was unsurprisingly related to each other. It got to the point when no one would let us sit next to them on the bus. The school bus driver knew it would be worse for us if he forced anyone to share their seat. So he just said, "Somebody let them sit down or we're not going anywhere." And then he actually turned off the engine and sat there until we were offered seats. Bringing perspective to our hardships, though, was my always wise father. When telling him about our struggles at dinner time while my mother was working 2 jobs, he would listen but repeat the same thing to us every time. Just ignore them. Don't cause trouble and never fight because we are living in a foreign land. Just focus on schoolwork. I didn't understand at the time his wisdom. All I knew is that I felt so alone, helpless, and some days just wanted to end my life. I never did think it would get better. The strength to get through this time in my life came from reminding myself of the hardships and sacrifices of my parents, which make my own pale in comparison. They did all of it for my future, so I make a conscious decision to dedicate myself to making them proud and give others like myself the information, tools, and hope to make their life better. Throughout college and graduate school, I thought about how I wanted to align my career with my desire to serve my community. Another source of inspiration in my life during this time was my younger brother. He enlisted in the Marine Corps and was deployed to Iraq during my junior year of college. While I was worried about him and anxious to hear any news about Iraq, I was also so proud of him for giving back to his country that has given us so much and that we have all sacrificed to be able to live in it freely. When I graduated with my master in public health, I found my calling. My job allows me to serve my community and give back to others who are like me 2 decades ago. I am proud to call Arizona my home and no longer see myself as a displaced stranger, but an American, an Arizonan, and an advocate for my community. My story is just one of millions. We are remembering today the sacrifice that Vietnamese and American people make in the name of freedom. We all have our time of hardships and struggle, but remember that others have gone through much worse, put everything in perspective, and give us strength to fight and to live gratefully. Sharing our experiences with future generations who will be told my story. Can you tell I'm nervous? I'm sorry. Sharing our experiences with future generations. It's also important to preserve the past for reflections and learning, especially for my daughter, who will be told my story and hopefully gain strength and appreciation like I did with my parents. I would like to express my deepest gratitude for all those who have served to keep us all free and safe. I am proud to be a citizen of the United States of America, and that our country advocates for human rights, which many people in other countries like Vietnam lack. I hope we remember this and not take our freedom for granted. I am fortunate to belong to the community that is represented today, which consists of millions of Vietnamese refugees. We are so blessed to have had the opportunity to escape Vietnam and live freely now. I am so fortunate to be the first female of my family to earn a college degree. I hope all my cousins and all their children and those in Vietnam will one day have the same opportunity I have had. My dream is that everyone has the chance, like I did, to pursue happiness. Thank you.